our mortgage. We've got a steady income, but we kind of struggle just getting by check to check and wondering what is the best way to kind of get out of that rut.
What's your income?
About $72,000 a year.
Okay. How much your house payment?
$1,700.
How much your car payment?
I do about $300 a month on it.
You would do. What's your car payment? You have a payment amount.
Yeah, I do about $300 a month on it. I go a little bit extra.
Okay, but I mean, your car payment is actually, if you don't do, what's the actual payment?
About $210.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
Does it ever feel like your paycheck disappears the moment it hits your account? Like you're always waiting for the next payday just to catch your breath? Well, you're not alone, and today we're going to talk about how to break that cycle and finally get control of your money. Hey there! If you're feeling the pressure of living paycheck to paycheck, I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. In fact, it's not as complicated as you might think. Inspired by Dave Ramsey's advice, we're going to break down some simple, practical steps that you can start using today to stop that paycheck-to-paycheck grind. Ready? Let's dive in. Step 1. Acknowledge your financial situation. First, let's get real. Take a moment to look at where your money is going. Do you know how much you actually make each month and how much you're spending? Take Crystal's story as an example. She and her husband were making $72,000 a year, but even with a steady income and just a mortgage and car payment, they still struggled to get by. Sound familiar? The problem wasn't their income, it was their organization. And that's where a budget comes in. Step 2. The power of a written budget. Here's the truth. You cannot manage what you don't measure. A detailed, written budget is your most powerful tool in taking control of your finances. And trust me, when you create a budget, it feels like you've given yourself a raise. Seriously, it's like magic. When Crystal and her husband put their income on paper, they realized they had more money left over than they thought. But without telling that money where to go, it was disappearing into things like eating out, grocery store runs, and random expenses. Step 3. Identify the leaks in your spending. Now that you've got your budget in place, it's time to find those financial leaks. And no, I'm not talking about plumbing. I'm talking about those small, sneaky expenses that add up and eat away at your paycheck. For Crystal, it wasn't anything crazy like buying a new car, it was just the everyday things like groceries and restaurants. So, go back through your bank statements from the past 3 months. What patterns do you notice? Are you spending more on takeout than you thought? Maybe you're hitting the grocery store every other day and those trips are adding up. Once you see where your money is leaking, you can start plugging those holes. Step 4. Be intentional with every dollar. Here's the game changer. Be intentional with every dollar you earn. Your money should have a job before the month even begins. This means you need to tell your money where to go, instead of wondering where it went. Use a budgeting app like Every Dollar, or even go old school with pen and paper. The key is to sit down at the start of every month and give every dollar a purpose. Step 5. Embrace the cash envelope system. One tip that can really help you gain control over those sneaky categories, like dining out or entertainment, is the cash envelope system. Here's how it works. You put the cash for each category into an envelope. When the envelope is empty, boom, that's it. No more spending in that category until next month. It's a simple, effective way to stay accountable and avoid overspending. Step 6. Adjust and be flexible. One last thing, give yourself some grace in this process. When you first start budgeting, you might underestimate how much you actually spend on groceries or other essentials. And that's okay. For the first few months, try overestimating your grocery budget a bit. You can always cut back later once you have a clearer picture of your spending. The goal is to learn and adjust along the way, not to feel like a failure because your numbers didn't match perfectly the first time. So, here's the bottom line. Living paycheck to paycheck doesn't have to be your reality. With a budget, intentional spending, and a few practical tools like the cash envelope system, you can take control of your money and start feeling the freedom that comes with financial peace. You've got this. If Crystal and her husband can do it, so can you. So, take that first step today. Write down your budget, give every dollar a job, and watch how quickly you can turn things around. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe for more tips on managing your money and building a better financial future. And hey, drop a comment below with your biggest budgeting challenge. We're all in this together.